Hi there, this is Tara from Wild Bird Farm. I garden here in Zone 5 in central Iowa. It is early autumn now. I have been tasked with creating a very large handheld bouquet in the pinks, maroons color palette. So come along with me today. Let's see what's still blooming here in early autumn and put together the bouquet. While there's not a lot blooming here in my perennial beds, I did find some Queen Anne's lace or Ami and a few sprigs of feverfew that are long enough for our bouquet today, as well as some white and pink snapdragons. Then out to one of my annual boxes that we put in this year. I have some annual savanna grass that I've really enjoyed working with. I'm going to pick some of that. That's going to add some movement to our bouquet. And then you'll see the big patch of mahogany splendor hibiscus behind that. We're going to harvest a few sprigs of that as well. I have some annual eucalyptus. Well, we have to grow it annually here in Zone 5 in the same area, so I'm going to harvest a couple sprigs of that to use as well. I also grabbed a bit of mountain mint from my pollinator strip, and I noticed there was a few stems of yarrow still looking great, so I harvested those. Now, my client mentioned she loved the smell of marigolds, but you'll notice these are a pretty bright orange that aren't going to go with our palette. So I'm just going to snip off those buds and we'll use a bit of the green for greenery in this bouquet. I finish out this section by grabbing just a bit of yellow celosia as well as some darker pink. My zinnia patch has mostly gone over, but I did find a few of the hot pinks and whites as well as a few of the cranberry double clip cosmos that I did a new succession of that are looking pretty good this time of year. I grabbed just a few dahlias in the lighter colors. This is Rose Toscano. These really produce well for me today. They're a pretty small bloom. Here's a Jowie Nikki. And here are some big Boom Boom whites as well as silver years. So going with that lighter color palette, I have tons of Cornell and Cornell bronze, but those just weren't going to work in this bouquet. So I'm going to take these in the house and let them sit for an hour or so, take the organza bags off, and then we'll get back together and make the bouquet. Taking advantage of the weather, I'm going to put this together on our back deck today. I laid out a lot of what I picked so it's easy to grab as I'm making my bouquet. I left the dahlias and a couple of the other things that tend to wilt a little bit easier in water, and I can grab those easy enough. But I'm going to start here with just a nice greenery clump. That's some mountain mint. I grabbed a Cosmo, and I'm just going to work my way around. I like to start with a larger piece of greenery or sometimes even a focal flower in the center, and then I try and work in threes. And I don't always turn my hand to put those on, but as I'm adding the stems, I try and put three kind of in a triangle pattern. Now this was a very big bouquet, bigger than what I'm used to doing for wrapped market bouquets. So I had to adjust a little bit. You'll see me at times pulling certain flowers, especially the focal flowers and some of those airy wispy bits up, just to add a little bit of movement to the bouquet. But this is a really fun process for me. I think it's calming. I enjoy doing it. I know I'm not a professional, so nothing that I do is obviously perfect. I'm not trained. It's just sort of using my eye and doing what I think looks good in the end. So I hope you enjoy this process, and we'll get together here and take a look at the final bouquet in a minute or two. So what do you think of this huge hand-tied bouquet? Would you be happy receiving this? I sure hope so. All I did now, I trimmed the stems. I actually used jute twine to end up tying this together, as I couldn't really easily get a rubber band around it. And we're going to deliver this to the recipient. Until next time, everyone, get out and enjoy that garden.